Hi everyone, I'm Autistic Ange. This is a podcast for adults who recently found out they're autistic and are looking for other autistic people like them. This is like my 7th time trying to record this, and I don't ever get past the first 2 minutes because I just feel like I don't make any sense, and my communication isn't the best today. Like, words are having more of a difficult time coming out of my mouth, but I am just going to not re-record anything or try to redo this. It is what it is. Hope it makes sense. But anyway, I've talked about the not so fun aspects of autism, such as masking and meltdowns, and recently rumination. But today I want to talk a little about the positives of having a brain that's running nonstop, because there are positives. At least in my opinion, since this is just from my perspective. But I do admit that, I think I'm a pretty good researcher. I will scour the internet for all the information I need about something. I will get all the books. I will, watch all the shows or documentaries, you know what I mean? Like, I will look for every piece of information I can get on something. But sometimes I know that, I just am not good at finding out more about something. I don't know why that is. But, I guess what I'm getting at is I would like to think that there are autistic people out there that have a mind that works like mine when they're not, like I said, in the midst of a meltdown or anxiety or anything like that. But I don't know, because sorry for repeating myself if you've listened to other episodes, but when you go so far in life and you don't meet people like you, even remotely like you, and you think that they don't exist, that there's something wrong with you. And now I know that there's nothing wrong with me. I know I just have a different operating system from ordinary people. But I haven't found any autistic people who have gone more into depth on what goes on in their head, what do they think about all day long, just stuff like that. I'd like to know if there's other people out there that think about this stuff, but anyways, so, and I do want to say that I feel weird talking about myself so much. I know I'm not narcissistic, but I can't get over how strange it is to talk about myself. And I have a hard enough time doing that in therapy, but at the same time, I also feel like, isn't it pretty cool that autistic people are so self-absorbed? We know ourselves more than ordinary people know themselves, at least in my opinion. So my mind is just going. Hope you guys can relate to some of this. I'll just start from a typical day. I wake up and it's just if I'm awake, I am awake. As long as it's past the 8 o'clock hour in the morning, I'll get up. If I wake up and it's 7, I'm I'm not fucking getting up. I just went to bed a few hours ago. But for some reason, if I wake up past 8, my mind starts working. It's not thinking, oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to go back to sleep. It's oh, I get to do this today. I wanted to watch this show. I'm almost done with that book. I'd like to finish that. Or I can't wait to start working. I might does that happen to anybody where you just wake up and you just start thinking about all the things? It just happens. Yeah. And then all day, if I'm not working, if I'm not feeling anxious, I am thinking about all kinds of stuff. My imagination is insane. I constantly think about things how the fuck did dinosaurs come to exist? And I heard that a meteor or something excuse me, I don't know, crashed into the earth. And I'm very sorry if I have a raspy voice today. I can't help it. what was I saying? Dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs, but I'm not like, it's not a special interest. But like, I'll think about stuff like that. Like, on Apple TV, there's this show that, of course, David Attenborough narrates, and it's like, I forgot what it's called, but it's about dinosaurs, and it's like a reimagining or something of like what they looked like, how they lived, and like I'm watching these episodes and I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck do they know that this is what these animals did, that this is exactly what they looked like, this is how they hunted, how they lived, you know, like all the things. How do people know about this shit just from bones? I don't get it. But I always think about it, and like I'll look outside and be like I daydream a lot, and I'm like, huh, like years and years and years ago, a dinosaur was probably standing right where this house is. And I'll think like, did they all just run out of food? Like, did all the dinosaurs just like, oh no, there's no more trees, or, well, they'd be dead if there wasn't trees, right? You need that to breathe. I don't know. But did they just start eating themselves? Like they ran out of food and then they cannibalized themselves. I don't know. Like, where did they all fucking go? Did they really all die at once? And why is there no way to go back in time and just kind of float around and watch these things exist? This sounds really ridiculous, but like I really do think about this stuff. I think dinosaurs are cool. I think anything like, you know, that's history, like it's pretty cool because I always wonder like what life must have been like back then. What else did I think about? You know, just existence and stuff, like like really, how did we all get here? How's there enough resources in the world to continuously build things? Like how, like trees take a long time to grow, and I always wonder like, aren't the resources going to run out eventually? Like I know that, you know, recycling, that whole thing, that's helpful and stuff, but like, aren't there gonna stop being trees that you can cut down? And because, you know, we've cut them all down and they take years and years and years to grow. Like I don't understand that whole process either. Like, you know, how is there just, you go to Lowe's, there's like how many Lowe's and Home Depots throughout the country or whatever, and they all have like, you can go in there and just get everything you need to buy to make a whole fucking house. How's that possible? That there's that much material all over the country, all over the world. Like, how is this not running out? Which reminds me, like, when people have said stuff like, oh, you're killing trees, like, I don't know, when you're being wasteful or something with paper. And I always thought that was stupid. Like, the trees are already dead. Like, you can say something like you're wasting, not like you're killing, because like this piece of paper signifies this dead tree. This tree died, something died to make this piece of paper. So I'm not killing anything. I don't know why I felt the need to say that just now. Like I said, this is why I kept recording. I'm just not going to redo it because this is where my mind's at right now. Another thing that I love about my mind is it just wants to learn about all the things. It doesn't matter what the situation is, what's going on. I just want to learn. And this is definitely more to do with the special interests that I have, like music and, you know, other things. But anything that like I don't know, I want to know the answer to. I don't know if there's a lot of other, I don't know like what the stats are or whatever, but I've always been a questioner. I question everything, and it's mostly out of curiosity and wanting to understand. Like I was one of those kids that why? And then I just never grew out of that as an adult because I still am like, why? Like I want to know. And sometimes, yeah, that can be a bit taxing, but other times, like, I like that I'm so inquisitive because of all the things that, like, I get to learn about myself and, like, the world and, other things. So, and it's even something as stupid as, like, I'm watching TV and, like, that actor looks familiar. Let me go on IMDb and look to see what they've been in, so that I can stop wondering what this actor has been in before and why they look so familiar. So, like, if I immediately, like, am unsure of something, I want to know whatever the answer is before I move on. So, like, if it's possible to find that answer, I want to find it. And this is just normal for me. It's normal for me to be, like, in the middle of doing something and then, like, I have this thought and it's a question about something and I'm like, oh, I wonder what the answer to that is. And I will stop what I'm doing and just focus on finding out what the answer is to that question that I have. Like, my poor wife she has to answer all the questions. I ask so many questions every day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't ask a question about anything. And then I think about it, I'm like, oh, like, sometimes, like, I feel like I don't, how do I say this? I look like I don't know anything because I'm always asking about stuff. And I know that's not true, but, I can't help what other people might perceive or think, or maybe they don't give a fuck and I'm just, like, worrying for nothing. But, I mean, I always questions, like, please give me the answers. And, like, the thing that was so frustrating, as I mentioned before, like, like, you're in educational environments, for example, and you're asking teachers questions about stuff. Like, when I had to, I mentioned this before, I had to go to private Catholic school for junior high because the schools where I lived were not safe. There was always, like, guns and fights and stuff. And so, like, when we got put in this Catholic school, we weren't even practicing Catholics. But it was just an immediate exposure to just religion. It was in my face. I had to go to church every day. And so, since I didn't really know anything about religion, I had lots of questions. And science class, I learned, was it science class? No, it was religion class. I think it was. You learn not to ask questions about religion. And that always confused me. Like, did people come into that school with, like, they all were practicing Catholics? They all went to church on a regular basis? Like, they all know everything there is to know about it? I don't know. But, like, I was so frustrated as a kid. Like, I didn't even want to be in this school. I knew I wasn't religious like that. Oh no, I did not want to be there, but I understood the reason why I was there. And I understood that, like, my parents were working their asses off to keep us in that school because it wasn't cheap. And so I didn't put up too much of a fight about going to a place like that because, I don't know, I just kind of understood that, like, it was the better option compared to the other schools in the area. And which is pretty sad because, like, that's, like, on a military base. Like, I can't believe that stuff like that was happening on a military base. I mean, maybe it has always been like that, or I was just a very sheltered child. But, usually, like, the stuff where guns are brought to school and, like, those are off-base situations is what we used to call them. I don't know. See, like, I don't know. I say that all the time because I don't know, and sometimes I don't know if I'll ever know. But yeah, like, I want to learn about everything. If I find a brand, like a food or something, or a drink, a brand that, like, I really, really like, I want to find out all there is to know about that brand. What are other people saying about that brand? What are the reviews out there? How long's it been around? Why is this product so great? Like, why do I like it so much? And I just sat out on a deep dive about learning about all the things I can about this brand. Music, the same way. Like, when I was first introduced to Tegan and Sarah, that was it. Like, that's a band I like. I don't know why this happens. It's just like, sometimes it just takes like one song. And I know that that's the band I'm going to start listening to nonstop for many, many, many hours and days. And so what I did was I would go to the trusty internet and look up all the information I can to understand like how the band formed, what kind of people are they like, because I sure don't want to listen to music by people who are like rotten people, like people who just don't have like very good morals. Like I don't feel comfortable listening to stuff that they make or whatever, because that just doesn't sit well with me. But yeah, I'll just like, I don't care how long it takes. I don't even think about the amount of time I'm spending or how long it's going to take for me to fully learn about whatever this topic or, thing is. I find it fun. And so like I went and I did this deep dive, and I figured out which of the two sisters I liked better as far as songs, like, singing wise, because they each, which is unusual for me. And I think I'm sorry I'm talking about seeing this series. You guys are probably like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, I can't help I went off on this tangent. This is a special interest. I should stay away from it, but I can't. I have to explain this. I figured out like, because each one of them does their own song, but the other will sing on it too, like with the chorus and stuff. But like I found out that I like Tegan's songs better than I like Sarah's songs, which has a lot to do with like the personality too, I think. But then, I got to learn about what a struggle it was for them growing up in the industry, being, queer, and what they had to go through. And I like learning about people, and I like learning about what they've had to overcome to get to where they're at, and how they did it, and how that changed them for the better. And, I know I'll never meet these people, but I still do these things. Is that weird? I don't know. But the fact that my mind never stops is pretty cool, because I'm never bored. Like I'm never bored. I always have something to do. I can't sit there with nothing to do. I have a hard time watching something on TV and not doing something else while I'm watching it. I can't just stare at the TV and do nothing. I mean, like, trying to understand what's going on in the episode or whatever you're watching. It's not nothing, but like, I can't just sit there. I want to do something. And when I don't feel like watching TV, I'll decide to go learn something new for a little bit. I don't know. Like, I just can't stop. I enjoy reading. I enjoy learning about the mind. I enjoy learning about like all the brain shit, trying to understand why I am the way I am, how that's affected my just very existence, I guess. Do you know, like, I just feel like I'm talking about nothing right now. I can't help it. Like, I really just want to not publish this, but I'm already like almost 20 minutes in. And if I don't publish this now, like, what have I been doing for the last 20 minutes? Like, this is farther than I got the other 6 or 7 times I tried recording. But is there anybody out there? Please send me an email. It's in the show description, not the episode description, the show description. I would like to know, like, what do you think about, like, all throughout the day? Do you like that you have an active imagination? Do you tell people about, like, the kinds of thoughts that you have? How do they, like, like, I'll tell my wife some of the things I think about, and she's like, wow. Like, because she wasn't thinking about that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. I always want to, like, these are things I usually find that I'm thinking about that I don't know the answers to, and I don't think I will ever be able to find out the answers to them. Like the whole dinosaur thing. I will never know the answers to my questions. So I'll just use my imagination and try to fill in the blanks. That's what I do. And then when I do that, I'm like, did I fill them in properly? could this have happened that way? I mean, it just spirals and spirals and spirals. And it's so amusing because like when I'm doing it and I'm aware of it in the moment, oh, holy shit, man. I'm like, how did I get here? Because you think of one thing and then it leads to something else, and then you have a question about that. So I have to go like learn about that before I continue on this path. And so like I go learn about that, and then I have another question about something. So it's just I go off on all of these different, I'm all over the place. Like I'll set out to learn about one thing, and by the time I'm done learning about that one thing, I'll have learned about like 20 other things. Do you know what I mean? My mind doesn't stop. There is no Energizer Bunny. There is no like slow wind down. I have to force my mind to stop. And I'm not proud of that. It's the only way I know how to do it. I've tried meditation. I've tried like altering like bedtime routines. I have tried all the fucking suggestions that are out there. And the only thing that really works is Benadryl and melatonin. And I alternate because, you know, the whole tolerance thing or whatever. And it's the only way I can get my mind to stop, because otherwise I would just like, I usually force myself to go to bed around 3:30. And if I didn't force myself, I probably could keep going till about 8 or 9 in the morning before I just was like, that's it. And then I would sleep until what, like 4 in the afternoon, maybe at the latest, you know, and then I would be up, and I'd be up for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I wouldn't be able to get back to bed until like noon that following day. Like I can't get into a normal sleeping pattern without the assistance of melatonin and Benadryl. Like not together, obviously, like I alternate, you know, but I wish it wasn't like that. I have this, I feel like like we need sleep. If we can get it, we should get it. 'Cause you know, the body and the mind repair while you're sleeping. But a lot of the times to me, I don't even want to go to sleep because I just want to keep doing things, which makes me sound manic, but I'm not. I just want to keep doing all the things, and my mind doesn't wind down. So like I have to put something in there so it has to wind down, at least give me a few hours of sleep, and then I'll get back up and think about all the things again. Does anybody experience this? I can't imagine not thinking the way that I think. I can't imagine not having an active imagination. Like, what do ordinary people think about? Do they have deep thoughts and stuff? I mean, not to say that, like, I'm not, like, autistic people aren't, like, I should probably stop before I say things that are not going to come out right. I don't know. I think I'm rambling now. And now I'm at the point of the episode where I don't know what kind of point I'm trying to make anymore. So that means I should probably stop talking. And like I said, if you guys can relate to this, please let me know, because I don't know if other people are out there thinking like I do, and I would like to know, please. So thank you. That's all I've got for now. This was just me recording into an app on my phone, hoping people find me and listen and relate and have a similar experience to what I did when I heard myself on somebody else's podcast. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.